The Blackwood Motel Episode 4, The Missing Persons. The darkness moved, fast, far too fast. I ran. My flashlight beam bounced wildly across the endless hallway as heavy footsteps thundered behind me. Whatever was chasing me wasn't human. I could feel it. The walls trembled with every step it took. Somewhere behind me, doors began slamming shut, one after another. Bang! 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 The sound echoed through the corridor like gunshots. I didn't look back. I couldn't. Then suddenly, the hallway disappeared. I stumbled forward and crashed onto a dusty wooden floor. Pain shot through my shoulder. Confused, I looked around. The endless corridor was gone. I was back in the motel lobby. Morning sunlight streamed through broken windows. Birds chirped outside. For a moment, everything seemed normal. Almost. I quickly stood up. Had it all been a dream? A hallucination? I checked my watch. 7:14 a.m. Hours had passed. But what terrified me most was what I found in my pocket. A photograph. I had never seen it before. The picture showed the family from room 66. The mother, the father, the little girl. But written on the back were 3 words. Find the sheriff. A chill crawled up my spine. Someone wanted me to know something. Or someone. The sheriff. An hour later, I returned to Blackwood. The townspeople stared as I entered the diner, wordlessly, fearfully, as if they knew exactly where I had been. The elderly waitress approached. "You went there, didn't you?" I nodded. The woman looked away. "You should leave town." "I need answers." She hesitated, then quietly handed me a piece of paper, an address. "He's the only one who'll talk." The house sat at the edge of town, weathered, old, half hidden behind overgrown trees. A faded police cruiser rusted in the driveway. When I knocked, an elderly man opened the door. His eyes widened immediately. "You've been to the motel?" It wasn't a question. I nodded. The old sheriff sighed heavily, then invited me inside. The truth begins. His name was Sheriff Walter Briggs, retired for nearly 20 years. His living room walls were covered in newspaper clippings, missing person reports, crime scene photos, maps, all connected to one location. The Blackwood Motel. Walter poured himself coffee. His hands trembled slightly. "I've spent 40 years trying to understand that place." I sat quietly, listening. "People think the motel is haunted." He laughed bitterly. "I wish that were true." "What do you mean?" Walter stared at me. His expression turned serious. "Ghosts are dead." He leaned closer. "Those people aren't dead." My stomach tightened. "What happened to them?" The sheriff shook his head. "We never found out." The first disappearance. Walter pulled out a yellowed newspaper. The date read October 17th, 1978. The headline, "Local family vanishes without a trace." The first victims. He pointed at a photograph. My blood froze. The family in the picture was the same family from room 66. The same little girl, the same mother and father, exactly the same. But this photo was almost 50 years old. "That's impossible." Walter nodded slowly. "That's what I said." I showed him the photograph from my pocket. His face turned pale. The coffee cup slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. "No," he whispered. "No, no, no." "What?" Walter backed away, terrified. "You're seeing them." The room suddenly felt colder. The call. Before I could ask another question, Walter's old landline phone rang. The sound made him jump. The sheriff stared at it. Fear filled his eyes. He didn't want to answer, but eventually he did. "Hello?" Silence. Then Walter's face drained of color. He slowly handed me the phone. "They want to talk to you." My heart pounded. I placed the receiver against my ear. At first, there was only static. Then a voice spoke. My voice. Exactly my voice. "Ethan." I nearly dropped the phone. "Who's this?" Static crackled. Then, "You don't have much time." Cold sweat covered my skin. "What are you talking about?" The voice sighed. A tired sigh. My sigh. "Because I'm you." The line went dead. The investigation. That evening, Walter and I searched through decades of missing person files. There were dozens. No, hundreds. Tourists, travelers, families, police officers, even investigators. Every one of them disappeared near the motel. Then, Walter showed me something shocking. A photograph taken in 1984. The image showed a group of officers standing outside the motel. One of them wasn't an officer. It was me, standing near room 13. I stared at the photograph in disbelief. This has to be fake. Walter looked horrified. It isn't! I examined the date again. 1984, 42 years before I was born. Yet somehow, there I was, looking directly at the camera. The visitor night fell. The sheriff insisted I stay at his house. Neither of us wanted to be alone. Around midnight, we heard knocking. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. The same pattern, the same knocking from room 13. Walter's face turned white. Don't answer it! The knocking continued, louder this time, then louder still. The front door began shaking. Something was outside, something strong. Then the knocking stopped. Silence returned. For several seconds, neither of us moved. Then a voice spoke from outside. A familiar voice. My voice. Ethan. Walter grabbed his shotgun. The voice continued. Open the door. I slowly approached the window, peeking through the curtain. My heart nearly stopped. Standing on the porch was me, identical. Same face, same clothes, same flashlight, same scars. The other Ethan smiled, then pointed toward the darkness behind him. At first I saw nothing. Then dozens of pale faces emerged from the shadows. The missing guests, watching, waiting, and behind them stood the tall caretaker, smiling. The other Ethan looked directly at me and whispered, "You should have stayed in the hallway." Suddenly, every light in the house exploded. Darkness swallowed everything, and somewhere inside the darkness, the front door began to open. End of episode 4. To be continued in episode 5, The Other Ethan.